Yeah, very long title. Yeah. Good afternoon. I'm really happy to be with you here at this KAI conference. My name is Soomin Kim, and I'm from Seoul National University of Korea. The topic for my presentation this afternoon is about the new survey system, the Chatbot survey system. I'll start with why we have developed this Chatbot system, and I'll move on to what we developed and how effective or efficient the system is in terms of data quality and efficiency. This work was done in cooperation with Professor Joonhwan Lee and Gahgene, thanks to them, so let's begin. Chatbot is pervasive in our society these days, and researchers have verified their effects in diverse areas. Along the same line, we thought Chatbot could also be an effective method of conducting user research, especially in the form of survey. We thought Chatbot could transform a boring survey task into a playful social interaction. This is because Chatbot involves back and forth message exchange. It's basically a chatting. Then let's take a look at the pros and cons of the existing survey methods. I will explain the existing methods in terms of data quality and efficiency. As you can see, the x-axis is for data quality, and the y-axis is for efficiency in terms of time and money. So let's start with the traditional surveys. Traditional surveys, such as face-to-face and telephone surveys, are located to the right side of the graph because it can gather high-quality data. There's some social interaction occurs in these methods. But they are placed in the bottom of the graph because of their low efficiency in terms of time and money. We researchers have to go somewhere and meet someone or call someone, and lots of human resources and times are required. However, web surveys have solved this efficiency problem of the traditional surveys, so it's located in the upper side. Web surveys can collect and analyze a large amounts of data quicker and more economically. Also, web survey is more flexible because respondents can access the survey at their own convenience. However, the data quality of web survey is really somewhat questionable. They are self-administered. Human interviewer is never present to pace or wake up respondents. So this kind of behavioral pattern, which is also referred to as straight lining, is really happen a lot in web surveys. Respondents just tick the same answers to save their time or to finish the task as fast as possible. Survey is just like a homework, and thus the respondents produce insincere answers, which is a big data quality problem in web surveys. So this brought us the question of how can we solve this data quality problem and achieve high efficiency at the same time? That's how we arrived the answer of Chatbot survey system. A chatbot might resolve the data quality problem in the web surveys because respondents may perceive the chatbot survey as a social interaction. And if they perceive the survey as an interaction, they will engage more and give more sincere answers. However, we assume that the chatbot interface itself is not sufficient to convey conversational interactivity because it only represents a surface-level interface. It's unquestionable that how to say something is as important or even more important than what you say. So we focused on not only the platform, but also the conversational style, the way we ask questions. To get to the point, our goal is to verify the feasibility of a text-based chatbot as a new survey method. And in particular, we aim to overcome the web survey's response quality problems. So we designed the research prototype of chatbot survey system. And this is a demo video of our chatbot survey. All questions and dialogues are translated from Korean. As you can see, the questions are naturally asked and answered in the course of the conversation. Yeah. So this is the new Chatbot survey system we've developed. And to examine the feasibility of the system, we have conducted a user study. Now let me explain how we designed and conducted a user study. We recruited 106 participants, and the study consisted of a series of an experiment, post-hoc surveys, and semi-structured interviews. We used a different measure for each step. First, we conducted 2x2 between subject experiment. The task was conducting a survey, and in this stage, we focused on participants' behavioral pattern. Let's take a closer look about the experimental design. Our two main variables were the survey platform and the conversational style. So overall, 4 conditions were used in our study, and we randomly assigned participants to one of the 4 conditions. So 2 platforms tested in our experiment are the web and the chatbot. The web interface adopted a grid format, and the chatbot used the chatting interface of Facebook Messenger. And 2 conversational style we used were a formal style and a casual style. And when transforming the original formal questionnaires to a casual style, we applied some rules based on existing studies, such as using some everyday language or using some abbreviations or applying emojis. However, we maintained the internal meaning of original questionnaires. In this first stage, we evaluated the survey data quality by focusing on respondents' behavioral response patterns. We used the differentiation ratio to evaluate the response data quality. This index is based on satisficing theory proposed by Herbert Simon and adopted by Krosnick. As you've seen on the left-hand side, if a respondent selects the same choices for all items, the index is close to 0, which means low data quality. However, as seen on the right side, the index approaches 1 if the respondent answers with diversified scale for each item. So to summarize, the higher the index, the higher the data quality. After the survey experiment was completed, we conducted the post-hoc survey. We asked participants the perceived usability, such as ease of use and enjoyment about the survey system they used. After all the tasks and post-hoc surveys were completed, a post-hoc interview was followed. We conducted semantic analysis for the open-ended answers. So we are almost there. Now I would like to discuss the result and conclusion of our study. First result is about data quality, our main dependent variable. The Chatbot survey resulted in higher quality data compared to the web survey, which means that Chatbot survey produced more diversified responses than traditional web survey. However, as seen on the graph, this positive result of Chatbot happens only when the Chatbot used the casual conversational style. No meaningful differences was found among the other 3 conditions. This result implies that conversational interactivity occurs not only with the external chatbot interface. However, to convey conversational interactivity, an effective communication strategist should be used. Not only the tool, but interface itself, not only the tool or interface itself, but also the communication style or how you say things is really important. Second result is about the perceived usability. The results regarding perceived usability have shown that web and chatbot systems were both easy enough to use. And users perceived a high level of enjoyment when the casual conversational style was applied. Now, let's take a look at the user's perception through the qualitative results. 4 topics were discovered about the Chatbot survey. First topic is about, it's not a task, but an interaction. Users perceive the Chatbot survey as a social interaction rather than a task. Second topic is about the effect of conversational style on intimacy. Participants felt more of a personal connection to the chatbot because of its friendly conversational style. Third topic is about playful interaction. A number of users mentioned that they really enjoyed having conversations with chatbot. And all these three themes are about users' experience related with social interaction and emotional intimacy. Then let me show you some real feedback from the participants. It's all translated from Korean. And after all the user studies were completed, I wanted to hear more about their thoughts. So me as a chatbot sent the messages of asking follow-up questions without any expectation of getting responses. However, participants voluntarily have responded to the question without any incentives. They said they really enjoyed the experience, and the chatbot survey is like having a long conversation with a real human being. And they also give some emotional responses. As you can see, they send some emojis and they send some pictures to upgrade your system. And they also mention several inconveniences of using a chatbot survey, such as it takes too long or it's hard to modify the answer. And all these points are what we have to solve in the future. Yeah. So I've shown you some real user voices, and let's go back to our qualitative results. The last topic is about easy access through mobile devices. Some interesting findings were appeared about this topic, but because we don't have much time left, please refer to our paper if you are interested. Okay, conclusion. Let's go back to the graph in the beginning. We wanted to improve the existing survey system in terms of data quality. So we proposed the chatbot as a new survey method. According to our results, maybe chatbot users were more engaged with using a chat interface, but this effect was not enough to improve the data quality. The chatbot interface leads to better user engagement and high-quality data only when accompanied by a friendly and human-like conversational style. Maybe the chatbot's casual conversational style helps users recall human-to-human interaction. Or maybe participants feel more intimacy when talking to a human-like friendly chatbot. As been said in the Kasa paradigm, computers as social actors. So they could give more attention and give more sincere answers. Finally, our study is meaningful in the perspective of achieving functional and relational goals. With survey questions embedded into conversation, participants perceive the survey as a conversational exchange of question and answers rather than a task to be completed. That is to say, functionality and social interactivity are not separate, but they can be achieved at the same time by transforming a must-do task into a social interaction. To wrap up the presentation, a text-based chatbot could be a new and promising method of gathering quantitative survey data. But we should also consider some communication and social aspects. So the communication and psychology researchers like myself is really important when building a conversational agent. That ends my talk, and thank you for your attention.
Hello, this is Eugene from KAIST. Thanks for the nice presentation. So my question is, when you do you actually observe any of the personal differences? Like some people prefer the web, some people prefer the formal, conversation style. Some people prefer the colloquial style. So the preference may affect the quality and the efficiency as well.
about your question, we did not really measure the preference of web and chatbot interface as a But we conducted the user interview, and some preferred web survey and some preferred chatbot survey. But the people who said that they prefer web survey said that web survey is much easier to complete the task fast as possible. However, the participants who prefer chatbot survey said that they prefer the chatbot survey because it's not like a task, but it's like an interaction. So maybe that individual difference of preference for the system maybe affected some data quality. But from our qualitative results, most of the students prefer the chatbot survey than the web survey because it was much more funny and interesting to conduct. Yeah, so maybe that could be the answer for your. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Oh, yeah.
Tomo Inoue from the University of Tsukuba. Thank you for a nice presentation. Did you have the web casual condition?
Oh yeah, we have two variables, and that is conversational style and the platform. So there is web formal, web casual, chatbot formal. So 4 conditions were tested, and yeah.
Okay, maybe I have missed it. But
okay.
Web casual condition, did you have high quality?
No. Our main finding was that the quality.
In the web case, casual or formal, it's the same result?
Yeah. Nothing, only chatbot with casual conversational style resulted in high quality data, and other 3 conditions were all same.
And your chatbot is experimented by words or AI chatbot?
It was rule-based chatbot because we did not do the question of open-ended answers, but we used the survey based on the Likert scale item, so we could automate the system based on the rule-based system. So,
thank you.
Yeah, not AI system, but maybe I would like to conduct the chatbot with AI system in the future work. Thank you.
I wondered what your thoughts were if you use speech, and so you went directly from text and then to chat, and then to actually having a speech interface.
Like voice.
I just wondered what you thought, whether that would change it, or what your intuitions were about what that might or might not do.
But the 4th topic from qualitative result was that it was much more easy to conduct a survey in the public spaces, like in the bus or in the subway. So maybe there could be some difference in preference. Like, I think voice agent can feel more friendly, but they are very hard to conduct in the open place. But text-based chatbot is very easy to conduct in this public place because lots of you are doing the chatbot, the chatting right now. So maybe there could be some pros and cons, I think.
Yeah, I think also in speech.
Yeah, but it's really interesting point.
In chatbot, you've got the icons and everything which people understand.
Yeah.
In a way, whereas in speech, maybe it's more.
Maybe I think it's more intimate. So maybe in the future work, I will compare some voice and text difference. Thank you.
Among the reasons why people prefer chatbot over survey, have you considered novelty? Maybe because chatbot is still new, so that's why people like it more. Because it's fun. Have you tried to consider a longitude study after this to see after? So, for example, when chatbot is no longer new to them, how do they respond to that?
This study was conducted with the adolescents. And they maybe feel that chatbot is more interesting because they are mobile generation. But did I get you right? I understand they feel like chatbot is more interesting because it is a novel experience. Yeah. Our third thematic analysis was that the chatbot was interesting, and there was 2 factors that why participants felt that the chatbot was interesting. First one is it was social interaction was the first factor. And the second factor is what you right now mentioned, that kind of, it was a new experience. Like they said, it was like, it was really surprising that I can talk with the robot. So maybe that variable was also affected some kind of enjoyment. Yeah. So please refer to our paper.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks.